Hello, welcome back to Homeschool Wherever. My name is Carmen Sognonvi, and in this video, I am going to be sharing with you some of the surprising things I learned during the quarantine. Specifically, some of the things I learned watching my kids do online public school during the quarantine and how those findings are going to affect our homeschool this fall. If you're new to our channel, we are a multiracial secular family living in New York City, and we are starting homeschool for the very first time this fall, and this channel is all about documenting that journey. So if that sounds like it's of interest to you, I hope you will subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. We're also full-time family travel creators, so if you want to learn more about that side of our life, please check out our family channel at Top Flight Family. So the first thing I learned about my kids that surprised me is they hate Khan Academy. I'm only half joking, but they really did not enjoy it at all. And I have to say that this was my first exposure to Khan Academy, actually using it. I had always known of it before, and my impression of Khan Academy was all very positive. My impression of it from everything I read was that it was this very revolutionary way to teach kids math, and that it was so much more modern and engaging, and kids love it, and they find things so much easier to understand. So I don't know if it was just the portion of the site that our public school was assigning us, or they were assigning us particularly dull subjects, or I don't know what it was, but both of them hated Khan Academy. So I'm actually curious to hear from other families, what's your experience with Khan Academy? Again, this was my only exposure to it. It was just the portions that our public school was assigning us, but it was just not working with my girls at all. So am I missing something? Is there a whole other part of this website that's way more awesome than the stuff we were assigned? I don't know, I'm really curious. So if you have any thoughts, definitely leave a comment and let me know. So the second thing I learned about my kids that really surprised me is they much prefer working with pencil and paper to doing things online. And that threw me for a loop a little bit because pre-COVID, we had already decided that we were going to transition to homeschooling this fall. And originally, in my mind, I was going to find some kind of a super comprehensive online homeschool curriculum where they would complete all of the assignments online. Everything would be graded. There would be tests and quizzes so that all of the record keeping would be kind of taken care of without me having to do things manually. And after watching my kids doing school online, I realized, no, that was the complete wrong approach because they were not into any of the online stuff at all. Now, again, I don't think it necessarily means that my girls will just never enjoy anything done online. It may well be that they just didn't enjoy the things that their teachers assigned to them. But time and time again, what I noticed is that whenever they were given the choice between doing something online or doing something on paper, they much preferred doing it on paper. So that was one of the things that really made me rethink what I thought my approach to homeschooling was going to be. So the third surprising thing I learned during this public online school portion of our year was that I needed to be much more hands-on than I originally thought. So again, pre-COVID, when I was envisioning what our homeschool would look like in the fall, one of the things that I was planning to do was to set up a desk with a computer in each of my girls' rooms. And in my mind, a lot of the work would be done individually solo at their desks. Well, I quickly learned from the online public school that that was a very unrealistic plan. Not only did they need my help a lot more than I expected them to, but I think they also enjoyed the three of us being together in a group. So that led me to realize that no, homeschool is not going to be done individually in their own little rooms. It is going to be a collaborative experience. We're going to be doing it at the dining room table exactly the same way we did online public school. So the fourth thing that I learned about my girls watching them do online public school is that I realized that they have a lot of gaps in their knowledge, particularly when it comes to math. So I found that there were some things where they were super comfortable with and they could just take that worksheet and run and just do it on their own. And then there were other topics where they just were really, really struggling. And I don't know if that material was just not covered sufficiently in school, or it's very possible that we were out of town traveling when they were covering that. That's definitely within the realm of possibility. But yeah, I was definitely surprised to see that there were these pretty sizable gaps in their knowledge. So for that reason, we are actually, for the most part, going to be essentially sharing curriculum between the two girls. In other words, I'm going to be teaching them at the same time, and we're going to be learning a lot of the same things at the same time. So even though they are 3 years apart, I actually think this is going to be really beneficial to kind of plug in some of those holes. Even if it's a topic that's one of the ones that she's stronger in, I think she could definitely benefit from that review. And also that's going to allow us to catch some of these gaps in her knowledge and fill those in so that she has a strong foundation before we keep moving forward. So that was definitely a really interesting insight for me. Now, the fifth thing I learned watching my kids do online public school was that their teachers are actually really great. Now, that's not to say that before quarantine, I assumed that all the teachers were terrible. I'm not saying that at all. I already had a positive impression of them. But I think that for all of us parents whose kids did online school, it really gave us a very unique opportunity to be able to see the teachers in action in a way that we really are not able to do day to day when they're in regular school. You know, especially when the kids get older, there's fewer and fewer of those opportunities where parents are invited into the classroom, right? I feel like kindergarten and first grade, I was in those classrooms all day long. Then it seemed like second grade came around and it was like, okay, well, you know, parents are not really welcome anymore, which I get it. At that point, kids are much more self-sufficient. You kind of want to get down to work and have them focus and just get things done. But it was really cool for me to actually see my kids' teachers in action, and it really made me appreciate them a lot. So one example is Ella, who was in second grade last year. Watching the way her teachers were teaching them creative writing was really, really cool. And having taken a few creative writing classes myself as an adult, I was really impressed with actually the level of sophistication that they were teaching these kids. For example, in developing a plot for your story, you know, this idea of like there being several like different points of conflict all leading up to a climax and then a resolution. That was definitely on a level that I did not expect for second grade. So it was really impressive. And so for Sean, she was in fifth grade last year, and it was really nice to see some of the Zoom meetings where her teacher would interact with her and the other classmates. You could just tell how much he cared and how much he really missed these kids. So overall, that just gave me a renewed appreciation and a renewed respect for my girls' teachers. Okay, if you would like to learn more about the reasons we decided to start homeschooling, check out that video below. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you will like and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Homeschool Wherever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.